Hey there friends, how's it going today? How you doing? We are in still social distancing mode, physical distancing mode, excuse me. And I just got back from going on a short little run just to get some fresh air and keep my body moving a little bit, because if I don't get out and go for a walk or a run, nothing's happening. And so I hope that you're doing the same, doing some things to take care of yourself. Maybe it doesn't look like a run for you, but getting some exercise in, getting some movement, some fresh air as you're able, even if it's just opening a window if you can, and doing some things to take care of yourself. So today I'm talking about what it looks like to let go of information or things that come up like in social media, or maybe in any like text threads that you're in, or this whatever it is. We use Marco Polo with some of my friends, so that's been really fun. And also invariably someone says something that you're like, really, come on. Maybe whatever the issue is. For me it's political stuff that comes up that I don't necessarily agree with, and it's like, come on. There are some naturopathic doctors who espouse ideas that I'm like, that is absurd. Why would you tell people to do that? And that's their prerogative, and they can. And as a consumer of social media, I know a lot of folks are going on social right now, and if you're watching this, you are well aware of that trend, as you were of that trend. But it's really easy to get caught in like, well, this person told me to do this, and this person is saying this, and I'm just going to be mad about it all, and they don't know, and get into this spiral of disdain and judgment, and it feels really gross. It doesn't feel super good, at least for me. Maybe it's different for you, but I encourage you to be mindful as you're consuming your social media, as you're consuming, Netflix or whatever it is that you're taking in on these days and evenings. What's happening in your body when that happens? What's happening in your mind? What are the thoughts that are coming up? And then if you can pair those to physical reactions, that will give you some really good information. And also, I know there's been both a lot of info about like how to cook healthy, or how to exercise, or how to work out, or how to be productive, and all these things, different strategies and tips and tools and whatever. And then there's this other side of it that's come up. It's a backlash. It's like, I don't have to do this. You can't make me do this. I don't have to. Like, it's okay to not do anything. I don't have any judgments either way. And it's so interesting to see, on the one hand, like this high productivity, let's push it harder, there's more time, so let's do more response to being in this crisis. On the other side, the I just need to exist and like be in my cocoon and distract myself, and that's how I'm going to survive this. Both are fine. Everything in the middle is totally fine. There's no judgment for me on any piece or aspect of any of that. What I am suggesting though is to, one, if something comes up in your feeds that you're like, I should do that, maybe you shouldn't. That should word is a really key indicator that there's something that's come up that your socialization, your family culture, your social culture, whatever it is, has made you think, oh, this is a good thing to do. When you think should, that alerts you there's a discrepancy there. There's a discrepancy between what's in the outside, what I think that external expectation is, and what's within, like what's in my heart, what's in my mind. And so notice every time that comes up, and it comes up a lot. So pay attention as you're scrolling through, and you can make social media use really mindful in this way. If you can start to notice, oh, hey, I should do this. Oh, ding, should I? Let me think about that. The other thing to notice is when you have really strong emotional reactions one way or another. This has happened to me a couple times in the last even 24 hours, about various political things that have come up, and I'm just like, gosh, I have a really strong emotional response, as I'm sure many of you do as well. And I tend not to comment. Most of the time I just wave it off, and I'm like, everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's fine. This is a non-actionable item for me anyway. There's nothing I can do about it. And sometimes what happens is that I will have a really strong emotional reaction to something that maybe is out of scale with what the thing is. So that's also a really good clue. So another example of this is if you are in a conversation and someone says just like an off the cuff remark and you have a really strong response to it, excuse me, that's a good clue. There's something inside of you that's calling for attention. It's calling for some love and compassion. And so as you notice that happening, taking the time to look inward and be like, oh, hey, that was interesting. I wonder why. I wonder what that was all about. This is how I ended up going to naturopathic school, right? So I used to work at a naturopathic office as an administrative staff. I was like the office manager light. And somebody came in who was precepting and learning how to do these minor surgical procedures. And I hated this woman who I had never met before, who I met like this one day in my life. And I was livid. I was so pissed at her. I was like, this, like bad words. I can't believe it. Like, how dare she? Who does she think she is? And just like super out of proportion, right? Like someone is coming in as a student learning that has no bearing at all on my life. And yet this huge emotional response. And so I took that as a cue, like, oh, hey, that seems really out of proportion, these two things. What is that about? And so I sat with it and I reflected and I was like, oh, I feel like I want to do that. That's something that I thought was out of reach to me, and I'm angry because I've been holding that out of reach still. And so I need to decide, like, am I going to pursue this path? Or am I not? And if I'm not, I have to let it go. But if I am, let's do it. And so through this process of reflection and, discernment or meditation, whatever you want to call it, I came to the knowing like, oh, hey, yeah, I do want to become a doctor. This is a medicine I want to pursue. And so I did. And so, but that was a really good clue. So I encourage you as we're going through this time, there's a lot of emotional stuff happening. And again, I see you, I feel you, there is so much going on and my heart is with you during these days. So challenging, so challenging. And also, if you can learn to start to pay attention to these cues, this is one way that you're going to come out on the other end better for having experienced it. And if this doesn't resonate with you, if you're like, oh, I should do that, don't do it. Let it go. It's totally fine. I'm not attached to anyone doing anything that I ever say, so it's all good, my friends. Whatever works for you is totally great. And also I want to offer that I am holding, groups, masterminds, or support groups, whichever name resonates best for you. It's the same thing. But a group of not more than 10 folks coming together and dealing with anxiety in that setting, and really developing tools and strategies to get through this super difficult time and handling that anxiety in a way that's meaningful. Not in a bitch session, not in a complain session, not a wallowy kind of thing, but in a, oh, hey, what is this telling me? What's the signal here? How do I work through it? How do I shift my physiology so that I can come to make good decisions, that I can get to creative solutions to all the problems that are coming up right now. So if that's something that is of interest to you, please don't hesitate. Send me a message. Let me know. I will get you in. And we'll go from there. So again, take care, my friends. It's super challenging time, and if you need anything else, even if it's just a little pep talk, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely here for you. And until next time, take care.